Well, the Malta Gozo concert band was formed in 1981. It came about from some creative differences with another band, which is the Maltese own band. Pretty much it has been going since 1981. The band has had 3 or 4 presidents since it was formed, most notably Joe Abela, who was the longest standing president, and I will or am the last president of the Malta Gozo concert band. The music that the Malta Gozo concert band originally would play is Maltese marches. The band was formed to play at Maltese Festi, and obviously bringing their traditions from back home and their music. It was all about marching Maltese marches at feasts. Over time, the music had developed and had been introduced. There have been many conductors in the band, and they've brought in their own flavours and own different types of music. And up until we were finishing, we were playing a wide selection of concert pieces as well as our traditional Maltese marches. Over the journey, the band has had to overcome many challenges. Most notably, I believe, in the last 6 or 7 years, where the band and the Maltese culture has struggled, and we've had less and less players to come and perform. In the early 90s, late 80s, mid 90s, the band was very strong with 50, 60 players. In the last few years, we've been very lucky to have 15 to 20 players. So I think that's been probably the biggest challenge that we've had to face as a band. Some personal highlights playing in the Blue Band or the Malta Gozo concert band have been playing at Anzac Day. We used to do Anzac Day, was a staple. Playing at the 30th anniversary was also a highlight for me personally. The idea of the merger came about early in 2018. We were sent a letter by Amy Cardona, who's part of the St.Albans Melita band, to see if we can have a conversation to see if we can actually save the bands as a whole, because again, the feasts that we play for are struggling, and it's been a very difficult time to be a musician in one of our traditional bands. So Amy put forward an idea where we could sit down and have a meeting about joining or merging, and the 3 Maltese bands were all invited. Discussions were had, talks took place, and there was some positives, there was some negatives, but ultimately I think we've come to the right decision. We've had some fairly significant challenges in the merger, predominantly based around things like colours. Maltese are very proud people, so it is very difficult to ask somebody to set aside something that they've been part of for 30 odd years. But for the betterment of the culture, I think we've found a group of people who have thought that this is the right thing to do, and these are the steps that need to be taken to keep our culture alive moving forward. The merger has probably opened a few more doors than what we had anticipated. We have a lot of past players who have returned, and also we have a new generation of players who are coming to rehearsal, who are keen and eager to learn music, to learn the Maltese marches, and we believe that this merger will have a positive outcome on the Maltese culture in Victoria and Australia. As a new band, I think we're all on the same page. The sky's the limit for the MMG Concert Band of Victoria. It is about remembering where we come from, remembering the Maltese culture, but it's about fostering a new era. Like I said before, it's new players, it's different things. It's not only the Maltese music that we play. We're playing a wider selection of music, and we need to do that because we're not only catering for Maltese, we're catering for many nationalities now, and various ages of people. So we now have our youngest musician would be 11 and our oldest would be 83. So we're catering for all of them. The future, for the first time in a long time, looks very promising and bright.
The St.Albans Melita band was actually the real name was the National Band, and it was formed on the 28th of May 1984. Most music that we performed was pieces of selections and some Maltese marches. The most highlight that I recall with the St.Albans Melita band was that in 1987 we played for the Feast of St. Catherine in Hatfield, and we played a piece of music called the Canto del Vesuvio, and at the end of it we had a standing ovation from all the audience that there was at that feast. There wasn't much challenges that we come. The biggest one we had was that in 1994, it was somewhere around February or March, the president of the band, which was Lou Staffordge those days, and the bandmaster, which was Mario Cassar, they both resigned at the same time. And when it was a bit of a headache because the 10th anniversary was getting too close to us. The most thing that I remember was that when all the big dignitaries that came from overseas, whether they were presidents or member of parliaments or prime ministers or opposition leaders, whatever they were, we always represented the Maltese culture in whenever they came to Australia. One day we were talking about it after a rehearsal in here, and we were talking with our committee of the Melita band, and we said it's getting harder and harder for the three Maltese bands that we got here in Victoria, because if you put us together, we make a big band, a decent band, Maltese band, which we should be proud of. And when we went home, I was talking to my daughter, which was the secretary of the band, and I said to her, let's write a letter to the other two bands and invite them for a meeting at the beginning of the year next year. Well, the challenges of the that we faced when we did the merge was there was a few major ones like color, bandmasters and all that. But we talked and we all agreed and we discussed it, and we found no difficulty in achieving what we wanted. One thing that I can, and I'm really proud of, is that we got the third generation of Maltese people working, playing in our band now. And one of the reasons that the merge was done is to keep going the Maltese culture and try to involve the young ones, our grandchildren, and to start learning the music and keep going the Maltese culture. Our grandchildren, we will be playing with us. Like, for example, we got people that they got their son or their daughter plays with them, and now they got their kids playing in the band too. So it become a third generation, which we will be proud of to keep going with the Maltese culture. I'm happy with things that they are going now, and the way we got the two presidents and the two secretaries and the two treasurers. We are working together, and this is going to be our first Christmas. And on behalf of the committee and the band players, I wish everyone a happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and hope to see you again next year.